Hello, I'd like to inquire about renting a boat, please. For 6 people.
What's up, guys? I hope you're having a great day. I'm now here in Ibiza. I'm here with my wife, my 2 eldest kids and 2 of their mates, having an awesome time so far. Before you all shout out, that's not fair on your youngest 2 kids. They are actually having a sort of more kid-based family holiday with us in a couple of weeks' time. They're back home with the grandparents, so they're all right. Last night we had an epic night out in Ibiza Rocks, and I found myself dancing away on this brilliant dance floor around a pool whilst Rudimental hosted an epic evening, dancing away with my kids, obviously having a wild and crazy night. And I thought to myself this morning when I woke up, well, first of all I thought, shit, my head hurts. But then I thought, is it wrong that I'm 41 years old, that I'm out clubbing with my eldest kids? Should I just be kind of letting that go, hanging up my boots and saying I should be too old for this? And you know what, I thought about it. I thought, no, that's not what I should be doing. I really enjoyed last night, and I don't think my kids were embarrassed to have me alongside them. They're having a great time as well. And I just feel like, this is what I wanted to say this morning. I thought, you need to be who you need to be, who you feel like you want to be, who you feel like you need to be. Don't be what everyone else thinks you should be. There is no age limit on doing stuff like that. If you feel young enough, you are young enough. And that was it. I'm full of energy, I'm full of having a great time, and I'm just loving life right now. So that's what's happening right now. Anyway, that's my little emotional moment, setting that to rest. Got a long weekend here, back on Monday morning. So really looking forward. We've got Radio 1 at Cafe Mambo tonight. Really looking forward to that. But anyway, in amongst all of that holiday stuff, there has been a bombshell dropped on the F1 world. Just as all the journalists were all packing up their computers, dashing off on holiday for a couple of weeks off, Danny Ric drops a bombshell. He has announced he's leaving Red Bull Racing and will be joining the Renault Formula 1 team. Surprise! It is actually a bit of a surprise, isn't it? But somebody tweeted me earlier, and I think this sums it up perfectly. Someone tweeted me saying, shouldn't be a surprise, this is a typical Daniel Ricciardo move. It's bold, it's brash, up the inside, unexpected, a bit of a gamble. That's what Daniel Ricciardo is best at. So why has he done it then? Because it's very easy to look at that and say, well, he's leaving a team with a great car, with a substandard engine, and he's going to a team with that same substandard engine and not such a great car. So there's got to be more to it than that. First of all, there's probably a very, very substantial paycheck, and I'm sure that will help smooth any deal over. It shows a great commitment from Renault towards Formula 1 and the future of Formula 1, and their kind of commitment to doing well and succeeding in this sport, which is good. But for Daniel Ricciardo's point of view, you've got to remember that I can kind of liken this a little bit to the Lewis Hamilton leaving McLaren situation. He's been tied in to Red Bull Racing as an organisation for many, many years. He's had his contracts negotiated and kind of driven by them. He's been a product of that Red Bull factory, hasn't he? Churned through the system. And now, for the first time in his career, he's got an opportunity to break free. And I think that's what he's doing. He's breaking free of the chains of Red Bull. He's taking a gamble, and it's got to be a gamble, but he's probably had some very long, very deep conversations with Renault about the future and about how they intend to tackle the future of the sport, the 2021 regs, the 2019 regs, of course, in the shorter term. But longer term, he must have had some assurances that Renault Racing, or Renault Sport, are going to be successful with the new version of Formula 1 that's coming for 2021 and beyond. Where does it leave everybody else? Because this has really shaken up what was looking to be a pretty dull, silly season. We know that Daniel will partner Nico Hülkenberg at Renault from next season, so that means Carlos Sainz is out of that Renault seat. That's no real surprise in itself. I fully expect Sainz to turn up at McLaren and for that to be announced relatively soon now that this is all starting to take shape. So I would expect Sainz to be a McLaren driver next year. Then there's the other McLaren seat. Of course, at the moment, Alonso and Van Dorn. For me, Van Dorn is sitting there with not many cards to play at this game. I think he is the least favourite of the available contenders for that McLaren seat next year. Unfortunate for him, because there's a huge amount of bad luck. He's not a bad driver at all. He proved that in the earlier categories before getting to Formula One. He's a very good driver, but he's not in the best place right now. I think Alonso holds all the keys here. Is he going to stay? Is he going to retire from Formula One and go and do IndyCar? That's what I think is going to happen. But the other possibilities could be, could Red Bull make a move, a surprise and very bold move for Daniel Ricciardo to fill that other seat? I don't think it's going to happen, but how good would that be to see Ricciardo in a top car again? What I think is going to happen is that Sainz will take one McLaren seat, and I fully expect Lando Norris to take the second one. He's for a while now been, I think, penciled into that second seat at McLaren, and I think with Sainz coming in, he will make a good lead driver for that team, with Norris being able to take the second seat and learn the ropes. In terms of Red Bull, of course, one of the favourite seats at the Formula One table that Daniel Ricciardo has vacated, Max Verstappen, we know, is locked in. So who's going to partner him? For me, I think it's going to be Gasly. I think Gasly has jumped to the top of the queue in that Red Bull Racing driver chain, if you like. It was Sainz for a long time who would have always been perhaps next in line, but can you imagine Sainz and Verstappen back together again? Last time that happened, it just didn't work. There were fireworks, the two didn't get on, and Red Bull Racing will not want that in the senior team. So I suspect that Sainz will be released to go to McLaren, and I think Gasly will be promoted to that second seat. So that's kind of how I see it shaping out. The other things that still remain to be decided, of course, very much dependent on what happens at Force India. But of course, Ocon sitting there as a Mercedes driver, no opening at the main Mercedes team as yet, and a very uncertain future when it comes to Force India itself. So he is one of the biggest young talents that at the moment has a lot of uncertainty about what his future in Formula One will hold. Anyway, big news. It's a great thing, great story, great exciting move for Daniel and for Formula One. Great for Renault. Has given us all plenty to talk about whilst there's no racing on the telly. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of my kind of predictions. Let me know your own predictions, and let me know how you think he will get on. How will he and Hulkenberg get on? So much interesting stuff to think about and to talk about. Drop me a comment in the box below. Please like the video, share it around, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Enjoy the rest of your summer break. See you next time.